Check this out from last night on The Daily Show.
There's still some headwinds that are coming at us.
No. All right, a little rough terrain, little headwinds still coming at us. It's fine. We're Americans. We're strong.
It's just like, you know, if you had a bad illness, if you got hit by a truck, you know, it's going to take a while for you to mend. And that's what's happened to our economy.
How did we go from there's a little bit of headwind to we got hit by a truck?
Mixing metaphors and
Oh,
all
man.
the rest. All right, we're joined now by Carl Hulse, the mayor of Capitol Hill.
What an honor.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
I've
Carl Hulse.
elected him on my own. Carl, you work for one of these New York tabloids that has been hounding Anthony Weiner.
And proud of it,
the last couple of days. How long can he realistically stay on? He's just going to be more and more isolated.
I just talked to someone this morning who has talked to people, who's talked to the congressman, I think maybe as late as today, and they said he's getting the message that they don't want him here, but he's not inclined to give it up. That
To listen to the message.
That he's going to come back next week, and as we all know, that it's going to be quite a ruckus.
It's another level when right. Congress is back here.
Right. It's going to be, well, circus is probably an understatement.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he can withhold, right? I mean, he can.
There's no way to force him out absent, you know, a move to expel him, and that would take forever. And I think all of us look at this and say, in an ethics committee consideration, this isn't an expulsion type of thing. It's how much heat can you take, and he seems to be able to take it so far. We'll see though.
So what about the Bill Clinton factor? I mean, what do we hear about his conversations with Clinton?
I don't know much about that really. It's just one of those odd ties that elevates this story even more. I'm sure that they're talking about it and how to deal with it. I mean, we remember President Clinton came up and gave the State of the Union after that story was breaking, and I always thought that was a phenomenal thing. So, you know, maybe they're telling him to hang in. I'm not sure.
Let's talk a little budget because the other set of meetings up.
A big meeting, I think.
House.
A lot of people.
You think this is an important one?
Well, Max Baucus, I talked to yesterday, the chairman of the finance, one of the delegates, and he said he thinks this is an important meeting. I think there is a new sense of urgency. They need to get this going. You know, time is running short, and it's time to get serious. So I think it's a big one.
Do you sense a change in tone with the economic news of the last couple of weeks? I mean, we were talking about deficits.
But everybody reads it their own way.
Well, I suppose that's right. Well, that's right. It depends on their point of view on this, but it does change the discussion, right?
Right. I think, you know, the Democrats, and you're seeing some of this now, you know, they would like to see the federal government more involved in the economy, but there's no way to get a spending stimulus plan through, correct? So it's more like, how do you deal with taxes, payroll taxes, something like that? Republicans say, hey, this validates our position that we need cuts. So it's a way to, they got to find some middle in there somewhere.
It's fascinating though to hear Ron Johnson. I mean, don't really get more conservative than Ron Johnson. He says it's not the time to talk about tax cuts right now. He said our biggest problem right now is the deficit.
Right, and they want to see, but that's keeping the focus on spending too, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to generate revenue through tax cuts because it's
no, he's saying he doesn't want he doesn't want a payroll tax cut. He said
it's just to cut the spending, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be a matter of how you can dress up some of these revenue increases, you know, tax expenditures as people call them now, and make them look not like tax increases or changing the tax code. But there's still a way to go on these budget talks, but I think that people are starting to feel some pressure to get something done.
Yeah, well, how close are we going to get to the edge here in our last minute? We get up to August 2nd is the date that Secretary Geithner has talked about. Are we going to be here July 30th and July 31st?
I certainly hope not, honestly.
You've got plans, right?
I actually do have plans. But I think that there's been a realization, and you heard Speaker Boehner say this last week, that we need to get this done before then. You can't push it all the way to the edge. I would look for something in July. I think that Republicans honestly have come to a conclusion that if they wait to the end on this, they could get stuck with a deal that they don't like, you know, because if you get to that level of brinkmanship, because they, you know, Speaker Boehner, Senator McConnell, they know they have to raise the debt limit at some point, and they don't want to get into a take it or leave it situation. It's better for them to negotiate and finish this up.
Okay, 10 seconds. Will there be a deal done? Will this happen by August 2nd? I mean, we're not going to jump off the ledge, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Carl Hulse with the New York Times, one of our favorite reporters on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And he never tweets anything inappropriate either.
But he's fairly new to Twitter, so we'll have to see.
Hill Hulse, you got to follow him. All right, twitter.com/Rick Klein, twitter.com/John Carl. Back here tomorrow.
All right. Good to be here, man. Thanks for coming up.
I like it
And
here.
thanks for being here on time, by the way. It's,
Exactly. That's the way to
Is
play
that it?
That's it.
Wow.
Sort of got a